Good afternoon, thank you very much, and it's wonderful to be here on a beautiful Auckland afternoon. I want to send thanks to the India New Zealand Business Council for inviting me to speak here today at your summit. I'd like to acknowledge the Indian delegation, Dr. Alwyn Didar Singh, the Secretary General of FICCI, and His Excellency Sanjeev Kohli, sorry, I hope I have that right, the High Commissioner of India to New Zealand. I'm delighted to be here as Minister for Small Business and for Commerce here, and I'm really proud of the work that we are doing to help small businesses in New Zealand. Small businesses are the backbone of our economy. Now, I just have to say that when I'm speaking to a group of farmers, I tend to say that farming is the backbone of our economy, but actually that would not be right, because it is in fact small business, because 97% of businesses in New Zealand have less than 20 employees, and these businesses contribute to over a quarter of New Zealand's GDP. It's quite significant, and 29% of all workers in New Zealand are employed by small business. In saying this, small businesses face many unique and sometimes difficult challenges, and these range from issues around employment, around skills and training, around health and safety, and the general day-to-day responsibilities of running a business, particularly a small business. So, as the Minister, my priority is to make sure that all of government understands these issues, which are faced by New Zealand's small businesses, as your success is critical to our economic growth. A critical component towards helping small businesses succeed is by encouraging diversity. Diversity is better for business as it encompasses broader perspectives, broader connections and networks that lead to increased productivity and help generate innovation. Indian business owners represent around 3% of all business owners in New Zealand, and over 66%, that's just a little over 6,500 of these, are based in Auckland. And interestingly, almost a third of all Indian employers are chief executives, general managers and legislators, and in the current economic environment, especially in New Zealand, encouraging diversity has more weight and carries more necessity than ever. Diversity brings such a unique set of skills and helps convert innovative thinking into entrepreneurial opportunities, and that's what we're all about. Innovation is very important to New Zealanders. It's about the conversion of creative thinking into something of value. Becoming an innovative society is a journey and requires inherent creativity. You've got to start with that. Needs a good education system and a strong science community. The development of skills, education and technology are fundamental to unleashing our creative potential, and small and medium enterprises, or SMEs, can play a very big role in this. New technology, and we see plenty of that every day, and global competition mean that enhancing the skills of our workforce can improve New Zealand's competitiveness. 23% of New Zealand's SMEs export overseas, and that's quite a good number. And around 6% engage in research and development, could do better. New Zealand's small businesses seeking to grow and internationalise face the combined barriers of physical distance from markets and the small domestic economy. And the physical isolation of SMEs restricts knowledge and technology transfer, reduces competition, while the small domestic market limits opportunities to develop economies of scale before exporting. New Zealand can raise its living standards if it increases the number of internationally competitive businesses, and that includes small firms. Increased attention to people, skills needed to internationalise, and higher expenditure on innovation, particularly aimed at international markets, are all very important. As Minister of Small Business, I aim to encourage small businesses to participate in measures that can increase their competitiveness, but also ensure policies to improve competitiveness meet the needs of those small firms. And so the government has established and contributes to various initiatives and programs aiming to help SMEs, small businesses, grow and succeed. We support the continued development of entrepreneurial systems, including initiatives such as the accelerators programs, business incubators, R&D grants, the New Zealand Venture Investment Fund programs, and New Zealand Trade and Enterprises Internationalisation Services. All of these initiatives make it more possible and attractive to establish new and innovative businesses. And I've visited a business in Wellington this morning called Loves Data, who are a small but fast-growing innovative firm who used the assistance of Callaghan Innovation and also NZTNE. And bright idea, good people, bit of assistance along the way, you can do anything. The government supports the Young Enterprise Scheme, which offers a range of enterprise programs and financial literacy resources that can be used by teachers throughout New Zealand. Further development of entrepreneurship in the edutech sector has been through funding and business incubators by NZTNE and Callaghan Innovations Grants and Services, which I have already mentioned. And that encourages firms to step beyond their comfort zone and see just what is possible for their businesses. Through Callaghan Innovation, a program called Venture Up, run by Creative HQ, is a full-time 6-week entrepreneurship experience for the most promising young entrepreneurial-minded New Zealanders. It helps develop young people's skill set through training sessions and leading methodologies used by entrepreneurs around the world. And if you've visited or are part of one of these, it's a very exciting environment for young people. And so as the momentum begins to build, we would encourage continued investment. It's important to create a society which is engaged and skilled in using digital technologies, especially so for New Zealand, a small economy bobbing around in the Pacific a long, long way from other markets. So preparing and supporting small business sector to be flexible, adaptable and technically skilled for a world that is increasingly digital, global and specialised is very important. One of my priorities is to support businesses to use technology, as better use of ICT provides performance and productivity dividends, and we see this every day of the week. So taking up new technology platforms such as e-commerce will help to remove traditional barriers for our small businesses, such as distance to markets. So the true economic opportunity will come from better use of technology across the whole of the New Zealand economy. It's important to educate all business owners on the ways to use technology and connectivity to increase productivity. And I'm not just talking about business based in Wellington or Auckland, but on the west coast of the South Island, on Stewart Island, on Waiheke Island. This is relevant to every small business in every corner of New Zealand. Incentives should also be deployed to accelerate the uptake and exploitation of technology, especially in the education sector, as it will develop the skill set of our future generation. As I was visiting this technology firm this morning, I said to this room full of bright entrepreneurs, what are you doing to bring young people along? What are you doing to reach down into the high schools to bring the next generation of innovators along the ride with you? And I was very encouraged to hear their response. So the government is committed to creating a good environment for doing business and supporting SMEs in their efforts to grow. And I want to acknowledge and appreciate your efforts at the INZBC to encourage connections between India and New Zealand on doing business and around facilitating business development. It's been a pleasure to address you. It's been a pleasure to meet you all today, and I'd like to thank you for your time. Thank you.